The shadow that stole faces. The sun was setting over the quiet village of Umbara. The air smelled of roasted yam and smoke. Children were chasing goats through the red dust, while old men sat under the mango tree, telling stories of spirits and hunters. Among them was Kuma, a youth with eyes that never smiled. He was clever but proud, and his heart burned with envy. Whenever he saw someone happy, something inside him grew cold. That evening, he watched his friend, Tari, laughing with a girl near the river. Kuma clenched his fist. Why does he get everything? He whispered to himself. The girl, the friends, the respect. As the last light of day disappeared, Kuma walked alone through the forest path. The shadow of trees stretched long, dancing like living things. Then he heard a whisper behind him. Kuma, do you wish to be seen? He froze. Who is here? The whisper came again, closer now, like it was crawling through the air. I can give you what you desire. All the faces you envy can be yours. Kuma's heart pounded. He looked around, but saw only his shadow on the ground, long, dark, and trembling. Kuma's heart pounded. He looked around, but he saw his shadow on the ground, long, dark, and trembling. The voice came from the shadow itself. He ran home that night and shut his door. But even as he tried to sleep, his shadow moved on its own, twitching and breathing beneath the moonlight. Days passed. Kuma tried to forget the voice, but every time he saw Tari, the feeling returned, that twisting pain of jealousy. He hated how everyone liked Tari, his kind words, his easy smile. One evening, when the village gathered for the moon dance, Kuma sat apart in the dark corner, near the drums. He watched the people's faces glowing under the moon, full of joy, full of life. His shadow stretched beside him, still and thin. Then it whispered again. You still wish for their faces, don't you? Kuma's voice caught in his throat. Leave me alone. Take one, it said softly. Just one. You deserve to be seen. Let me help you. Before Kuma could answer, his shadow began to move. It slithered across the ground like a black snake and touched Tari's feet. The drums grew louder. The dancers laughed. No one noticed. Then Tari stumbled. His laughter stopped. His face suddenly went blank, pale and strange, like his skin had forgotten who he was. The crowd grasped. Someone screamed, and Kuma's heart jumped when he saw something strange. Warmth crawling over his own face. He touched his skin and realized that his shadow had stolen Tari's smile and given it to him. That night, everyone whispered about the cause of the moon dance. Tari lay silent, staring into nothing, while Kuma hid in his hut, shaking. But when he looked into the water bowl beside his bed, the reflection smiled back, not with a smile, but Tari's. Kuma woke before dawn, his heart heavy. He ran to the river to wash his face, hoping the strange thing would end. The cold water burned his skin. When he looked down again, Tari's smile still stayed back. He cried out and hit the water, sending ripples across the reflection. Kuma, said the voice again, echoing softly from his shadow. What have you done? He shouted. You have caused me. No, whispered the shadow. I only gave you what you wanted. Kuma shook his head. Give it back. The shadow laughed. A dry, hollow sound. Once taken, a face cannot return, but you can take another. You can be anyone you wish. Kuma fell to his knees, terrified. The morning sun rose, and his shadow stretched long again, black and hungry. By midday, the village had gathered. Tari's mother wailed, calling the elder to speak to the gods. They said a spirit of envy had entered the land. That night, Kuma tried to stay awake, watching the walls of his hut. He burned herbs, prayed to the ancestors, and covered the mirrors. But as the moon rose, his shadow began to move again, slow, deliberate, and alive. It crawled off the wall like smoke, and in the dim light, it turned its head towards him. Kuma, it whispered, the night is still young. That night, Kuma could not breathe. The air inside his heart felt thick, like smoke without fire. He sat in the corner, hugging his knees, watching his shadow move across the wall. It was no longer shaped like him. It was longer, thinner, and its head tilted in ways a mouse could not. Kuma, it whispered, don't be afraid of me. You made me. Kuma shook his head. You are not mine. I am what you wanted. It said, you wished for faces. I only obeyed. Kuma grabbed his walking stick and struck the ground. Leave me! The shadow laughed. It sounded like dry leaves scraping the floor. Then it melted into the darkness and vanished. When the morning came, Kuma came to the old shrine behind the village. The priest, Babanuru, was sweeping the yard. His white beard caught the sunlight like tiny sparks. Baba, something evil follows me, Kuma said, trembling. The priest looked into his eyes and frowned. Your spirit looks heavy. Tell me. Kuma hesitated. How could he say that his shadow had stolen a man's face? Babanuru took his small guard, poured palm oil on his finger, and drew lines on the ground. Your heart has fed a spirit of hunger, he murmured. When a man's jealousy grows too loud, spirit of the dark hear it. They come to feed. Kuma fell to his knees. Tell me how to stop it. The priest's voice grew quiet. Shadows are loyal to truth. Find the moment you begin to envy. Speak it aloud under the moon. If you lie, your shadow will take what is left of you. Kuma swallowed hard. That night, he promised himself he would try. The moon rose red over Ambara, crickets sang, and the wind smelled of dust and palm wine. Kuma stood by the river where he had first heard the whisper. The water glowed with moonlight, still and cold. He stepped closer. Watched his reflection rippled. I envied her, he whispered. I wanted his smile, his life. I am sorry. For a moment, the river was silent. Then his shadow appeared behind him, floating on the water's surface like dark oil. Sorry? It said softly. Is that all? Kuma turned. Please, I want to be free. The shadow's eyes opened. 2 holes of night. Freedom is not given. It is taken. The wind rose and the trees bent as if bound to something unseen. Kuma stumbled back. His reflection stretched, twisting into shapes not his own. Faces, many faces flashed across the water. Old, young, smiling, crying. He screamed and fell on his knee. Then, as sudden as it began, the river went still again. The shadow was gone. But when he looked down, his reflection no longer looked like him. The eyes were different, sad and wide, like strangers. The next morning, villagers gathered at the river bank. Another man, Kofi the drummer, had lost his face during the night. His wife said she woke to find him staring blankly at the ceiling. Skin smooth as stone, where his eyes and mouth should be. People began to whisper that an evil wind had come to Umbara. The elders told everyone to stay indoors after dark. They hung charms made of cowrie shells and goat hair on every doorway. But Kuma knew the truth. His shadow was haunting again. He could feel it behind him, even in daylight, stretching longer than it should be, bending the wrong way when he turned. Children ran past him, pointing. Kuma's shadow is broken, they shouted. He hurried home and closed every window. He burned house, as Babanu had said, but the smoke only made his eyes stink. That night, he did not sleep. The silence outside was heavy. Then, near midnight, a whisper came from the corner of the hut. 3 faces, it said. 3 before dawn. Kuma's heart thumped so hard, he thought it would break his ribs. No, he said. The shadow stretched along the wall, smiling without a mouth. You can't stop what you started. And as the moon rose higher, The shadow slipped under the door, sliding into the night like a black river searching for more faces to steal. The morning sun rose quickly over Mbara. The air felt heavy, as if a whole village were holding its breath. Women carried water silently. The drum that usually called people to work stayed quiet. Kuma walked through the square with his head low. He could feel eyes watching him from behind door curtains. Old Mama Deka called out softly, "Kuma, is it true the spirit walk at night?" He nodded. "Yes, Mama. Something dark moves among us." She whispered a prayer and spat on the ground to chase away bad luck. At the far end of the village, he saw Tari sitting beneath the palm trees, his black face turned toward the sound of birds. Kuma's chest tightened with guilt. He sat beside him and spoke quietly. "Tari, can you hear me?" Tari turned his head, slow and uncertain. His eyes were empty, but his hand reached out and rested on Kuma's arm. The touch was warm, human, forgiving. Kuma's throat turned. "I will face this, I promised." Then he noticed something strange. Tari's shadow still moved even when Tari did it. He tilted his head as if listening. Kuma stood, startled. The shadow smiled without lips and sank into the earth. That evening, the sky turned red before nightfall. Babanuru called the garden at the old tree. "We must call on the river spirit," he said. "Something from the dark world has crossed the line into ours." He mixed chalk and oil in a calabash and painted white circle around the crowd. "None shall step beyond these marks tonight." As he spoke, a wind rose. The tree leaves rattled like dry bones. Then a shape appeared at the edge of the light thing, tall and trembling like smoke. "It's here, someone." Babanuru held up his staff. "Show your face." But the shape only laughed. His voice was like Kuma's, but hollow. The people grasped, some ran. The candle blew out all at once, plunging everyone into darkness. When light returned, the shape was gone. Only Kuma remained, shaking. His own shadow stretched wide and wide across the ground. It hid inside him. Someone shouted, "He brings the curse." Hans grabbed his arms, but Babanu raised his staff. "Wait! The boy is not lost yet." He looked deep into Kuma's eyes. "Tomorrow, before the first light, we go to the sacred hill. There, the spirits must choose to live or to stay." Night came again, heavy with silence. Kuma sat by his small fire, thinking of the hill, thinking of Tari. He could feel the shadow coiling around him like smoke. "Do not go to the hill," it whispered. "They will destroy you. Without me, you are nothing." Kuma stared into the flames. "You are not me. You are the part of me I should have buried." The shadow hissed, and the fire bent towards it. Flickering blue, "You needed me. I gave you power. I made them see you. I never wanted this," Kuma said. "Liar!" the shadow murmured. "Every envy, every wish, every thought, I am all of them." Kuma closed his eyes. The wind outside sounded like voice, like faces calling his name. He whispered, "Then tomorrow we end it." The shadow reply was soft and cold. "Tomorrow we begin." "Keep your eyes forward," the old man said. Kuma nodded. He could feel the shadow behind him stretching with each step. The path twisted upward. Each rock looked like a sleeping face. Every breath felt heavier. At the top of the hill stood a stone altar covered in white chalk and feathers. Babanuru drew a circle around them with his staff. "No lights may enter into this place," he said. Kuma stepped inside the circle. The shadow followed, but the line of chalk began to smoke where it crossed. Babanuru's eyes widened. "It finds the truth." Kuma's voice trembled. "Tell me what to do." "Speak your heart," Babanuru said. "The spirit feeds on what you hide." Kuma fell. to his knees. I envied Tari. I wished to be him. I let the darkness listen. The wind stopped. Then a voice, deep, cold, came from the earth itself. Truth is spoken, but the hunger remains. The ground shook. The shadow rose taller than both men. The body was made of smoke and faces, 100 whispering without sound. Babaluru lifted his staff. Name yourself, spirit. It's loud. I have no name. I am the wish behind every jealous heart. The sky cracked open with lights. Babanuru pressed his palm to Kuma's chest. Do not fear. Where truth burns, darkness fades. He began to chant in the old tongue, voice trembling but steady. The shadows circled then, faster and faster. Its laughter filled the air like breaking glass. Kuma screamed. The wind tore through his clothes. Inside his head, he heard whispers. His own voice multiplied. You wanted to be seen. You wanted their faces. You called me. Kuma cried. No more. I choose myself. The shadow shrieked, a sound that bent the air. It broke into thin mist and vanished into the clouds. The heat went silent. Only the heartbeat of the earth remained. Babanu lowered his staff. It is done, he said softly. But Kuma looked down and saw his shadow still moving. Not wide this time, just breathing, watching, waiting. That night, back in the village, people danced again for the first time in many days. Children laughed. The air felt lighter. Kuma sat alone near the fire, staring at the ground. His shadow lay quiet beside him, thin and still. He smiled weakly. Maybe it's really gone. But the flames flickered, and for a moment his shadow smiled back. He blinked, it was gone. The drums outside grew louder. Then he heard it, a soft whisper under the music. Freedom is not given, it is taken. Kuma froze. His shadow had begun to move again. Only this time, it wasn't following him, it was walking away. The moon was full over Mbara village. Its light washed the clay hut in silver. But one shadow was missing, Kuma's. He sighed the ground behind him. Nothing, only the firelight trembling. He ran to the river bank. The water shimmered like black glass. When he looked in, a dozen faces rippled back at him, none his own. They were smiling, and among them he saw Tari's face. Kuma stumbled backward. No, it can't be. The revelation spoke. Lips moving through the water was still. You freed me, brother. Now I will wear the word. The surface broke. A dark hand reached out from the river. Kuma screamed and fell. But the hand only brushed his cheek and left a mark like smoke. He ran home, heart pounding like drums. Inside, his mother sat by the fire, eyes half closed. Kuma, she whispered, why does your shadow smell like rain? He turned, and behind him, faintly on the wall, his shadow was back. But it was not moving with him anymore. It was smiling. Words spread fast through Umbara. Children whispered. Kuma's shadow walks at night. Elders muttered prayers under their breath. One boy, Leko, said he saw it drinking water by the well. Another said it entered her dream. Baba Nuru came to the house at sunrise. He placed a small calabash of ash before Kuma. Sprinkle this at the four corners of your hut, he said. It will keep the spirit from crossing. Kuma nodded, trembling. Is it angry? The old man sighed. Not angry, hungry. That night, Kuma did as told. He sprinkled the ash, whispered the prayer, and lay awake, staring at the doorway. In the middle of the night, the door opened slowly. No wind, no footsteps. Just a shadow slipping through the gap, tall and thin. He stood beside his mat and whispered, you spoke the truth, but you never forgive yourself. The shadow leaned close. Kuma covers his ears. Leave me. I can't. I was born from you. By now, the villagers feared even their own reflections. Mirrors were covered, pots of water were turned upside down. No one wanted to see their faces. The elders gathered under the baobab tree. They decided to send for the seer of Eri, a woman said to see both worlds. When she arrived, she was silent, old, eyes white as milk. She walked straight to Kuma and said, "The shadow that stole faces is not finished." She touched his cheek. The smoky mark had grown darker. "It feeds on guilt," she whispered. "Yours and the village." Kuma trembled. "Then how do I stop it?" He smiled faintly. "You don't stop a shadow, you face it in the dark. But remember this," she said, voice fading like wind. "If you enter the darkness with fear, it will wear your face forever." You thought it ended there. Think again. The village hasn't slept since the shadow returned. And this time, it's not after faces. Part 2 of The Shadow That Stole Faces dives deeper into the secret. What really happens when the shadow takes someone but leaves their voice behind? Don't miss part 2. It's darker, louder, and closer than you think. Click to watch before the next drumbeat fades.